Okay, here we have the matrix. Now, what do we get if we do 1/4 times the first row? You should do that before you watch what I do. But yeah, we're going to get 1. 1/4 of 4 is 1. We're going to have 7/4. We're going to get 1/4 from this 1, and of course 1/4 of 0 is 0. And the second row is 5, -3, 0, 1. The next thing we do, think about it. What am I going to do? I want to get to this form here. I want to get the left-hand side to the identity matrix. 1 here, 0 here, 0 here, 1 here. What's the next obvious step? You should think of it, but I'll tell you here in just a second. Now we got 1, 7/4, 1/4, 0. We're going to do the second row. And I'm saying -5 times the first row added to the second. We're going to match up the -5s here. So -5 times the first row is going to give us a -5 here. And maybe we go over to the side and do this. Okay, -5 times the first is going to be -5, -35/4, -5/4, 0, and the second is 5, -3, 0, 1. Okay, we're going to add these. -5 and 5 is going to give us 0. -35/4 and -3. Well, -3 is -12/4. That's going to give us -47/4. -5/4 and 0, of course, is -5/4. And 0 and 1 is going to give us 1. We see our inverse matrix beginning to form over here. Okay. Now, what do we do next? We try to get this form. Think about it. It should be clear that if we can get a 1 here, we're almost home free. Well, to get a 1 here, we just have to multiply by -4/47. So now our matrix is going to be this: 1, 7/4, 1/4, 0, and then 0, and it's going to be -4/47 times the second row. It's going to give us a 1 here. And -4/47 times -5/4, 4 times 5 is 20. And 47 times 4 is 168. Check my arithmetic. And here we're going to have a -4/47. Okay, now that 7/4 doesn't look very good, but it's the same as it was up here, so we can leave it. And now what? We try to get this form here. We've got the 1, the 0, and the 1. We need a 0 here. How are we going to get that? Well, we're going to take -4/7 times this row and add it to this row. I'm sorry, -7/4 times this row and add it to this row. So now our second row is done. Okay, so here's our second row. Move the camera down just a little. And now we want to do -7/4 times the second row plus the first. Okay, well, we can do that kind of up here. We've got the first row is 1, 7/4, 1/4, 0. The second row is, well, it's this. And when we multiply by -7/4, we're going to get a 0 here and -7/4. And then we're going to have 7 times 20 is 140. But okay, if we're multiplying 7/4 by this, the 4 is going to divide the 20. It's going to make that a 5, and 7 times 5 is 35. It's going to be negative 35 over 168. And this is going to be negative 7 over 47. So that our first row is going to be 1, 0. Okay, what's 1/4 and negative 35 over 168? 168 is 42 times 4. So we're going to have a 42 over 168 and a negative 35 over 168. That should give us 7 over 168. Okay, the 0 and the negative 7 over 47 is, of course, going to give us negative 7 over 47. This should be our inverse matrix. Now, and in the next clip, first of all, I'm going to stop and check this and make sure I did all the arithmetic correctly. But then we're going to apply this, the inverse matrix. We're going to multiply it by that column vector and get our solution. I believe I did have one error here. When I multiplied negative 7/4 by the second, I would have multiplied negative 7/4 by the negative 4/47, and that would have given me positive 7 over 47. And that gives me a positive 7 over 47 here. One last correction, this denominator should be 188. And now this works out. And we can verify this. If we multiply this matrix by this matrix, we get 1001. And that is a check. You can read about that in your book. If we multiply this matrix by this matrix, we should get 1001. Or if we multiply this matrix by this matrix, we'll get the same thing. That makes this and this inverses of one another, so this is the inverse of this. We're going to be able to multiply that by our column vector of the right-hand sides of our two equations and get a solution.